Hi beautiful people, I bring to you another version of Suya spice. I've already shared a first recipe where I used peanuts, but this time I'm doing it differently and it's so easy. I don't know whether this happens to you, but anytime I'm using groundnut paste or peanut butter and I get to almost the bottom of it, it becomes hard, it solidifies. That is because most of the oil might have been gone. Okay, so usually when I get to that stage, I stop using it and then I keep it for Suya spice, and that is what I'm sharing with you today. I have a recipe on how I make my groundnut paste at home, and when it's a lot I take it to the commercial mill. I simply go to the market, buy already roasted peanuts, take it to the mill, and then I get it into my paste. So usually I have quite a lot of it, and once it's getting finished I just stop using it. So I'm going to spread this over my tissue paper and then I'll leave this out in the sun. The whole idea is to extract the rest of the oil that had been left here in this peanut, because most of the oil is already gone. So this doesn't take long, just a couple of hours. So every now and then I just spread it with my hands so that it dries up. So once that is done, I bring it back to my kitchen, and then I am going to try and squeeze it out in my tissue paper. And just like how I did with the first recipe, I'm going to put a parchment paper on top of under my tissue paper, and this will make it easy for you to squeeze. If you squeeze it with just the tissue paper, it may tear. Okay, so I use this to squeeze the rest of the oil, or if there is any out of this peanut butter. And then when I'm done, I'll just spread it again in my wok. I like to use my wok to do this because it's non-stick, so it wouldn't be sticking into my saucepan. So I quickly, even though it's still clamped up, I'm going to add this is smoked paprika. I have smoked onions and garlic. Then this is ginger and turmeric powder. Okay, now I also have here some coriander, fennel seeds and cumin seeds that I've sort of blended together, and some local spices. So we have some calabash, nutmeg, cloves. I have a recipe on everything I'm using here. I'll be leaving the link in my description box. Now that is pepper, powdered pepper. Okay, so I'll give this a stir, and what this dry ingredient that I just added is going to do is to help break all the clamped up peanuts, okay, that was already in the wok. So when I stir it, it's so easy to break them up. Okay, so now I've actually introduced heat, and under very low heat I am giving this a nice stir. If you leave this, it's going to burn. You don't want to leave this even for a second. Okay, so while I'm stirring it, I'm still sort of crushing the ones that are clamped up together, and basically that is it. There was one very important ingredient I forgot to add, and that is the seasoning cube. I'm not adding salt to this recipe because the peanut itself is already salted, so I wouldn't want to do too much. So because of that, I'm not adding salt. If you are using a peanut that is unsalted, then you need to add a bit of salt to this. Okay, so after roasting this on my fire for about 5 minutes, I'm just going to pour it again over my tissue paper. Underneath it is my parchment paper, and I'm going to give this the final squeeze. Now what happens is that whenever you roast this again, it sort of releases more oil, and you want this to be oil free as much as possible. Okay, so now that everything is mixed together, I'm just going to do the last squeeze. So I've just added my napkin to it because it is very hot. So with the napkin I'm able to squeeze it, and squeeze it. If you want, you can hit this on the wall. I actually did that. I just couldn't film it. After squeezing it a couple of times, I hit it on my wall, and I'm giving it blow. Give me blow. Give me blow. Give me blow. Blow, blow, blow. Did you see that? Give me blow. Give me blow. Give me blow. Blow, blow, blow. Just anything you have to do to get the oil out, try your possible best to get it out. And this one didn't have a lot of oil, okay, so it didn't take so long to get this done. And yeah, this, see, if you are going to use this same spices and the same processing, the way your kitchen is smelling now, and very nice, the aroma very, very aromatic. So at this point I just want to spread everything out and check, just be sure that I've got out most of the oil. And as you can see, if I press this on the tissue paper like very hard, I don't have any oil. All I have is, because of the spices, the colors in them, yeah, but aside, I don't have any oil. So the final thing is to just give this a nice strain. This one is very simple, like as compared to the using the groundnut and blending it, and this is very simple. And what's left in the strainer, you can actually blend this and add this to the powder. But I grilled some fish on that day, and then I just added it to my veggies and used it. It was so delicious. So I'll be storing this in my airtight container, and I like to keep this in my fridge. The uses of Suya spice is so limitless, not just for our kyinkinga or our kebabs, but for our fish, our meat, our stir fries, and other delicious recipes that are coming up. My name is Suya. It's always a pleasure to have you here. Don't forget to smash the like button. Mwah!